Community leaders are trying to close the education gap for students. A special grant program announced today by the La-Crosse-Public-Education-Foundation helps fund new opportunities.
News 8 Now's Jordan Fremstad introduces us to two teachers who say some of their students are actually set up to fail. They say it's the community's responsibility to pick them up.
School was difficult enough for some students before the pandemic.
It's been a crazy time for the schools and for all of us.
COVID-19 just packed on more stress many children live in outside of school.
We all have to look in the mirror and know that, that for those of us who are white, we often have a different experience than other folks in the community have.
The La Crosse School District is working on ways to open doors for students who have a greater chance to fail.
And it's been curriculum changes. It's been systemic changes.
John Havlicek is a teacher at Central High School.
There are a lot of barriers that our country puts up in front of folks.
He says a lot of people forget how fortunate they are.
I never had to worry about health care. I never had to worry about where my next meal was coming from.
This may not feel to most people like a privileged lifestyle, but to others, simple necessities are hard for families to provide for their children. Havlicek says some students in his classes have eye problems and their parents can't afford to get them in to get a pair of glasses.
You know, those needs are growing and kids carry that.
We have to think about the whole child, not just, how are you doing in my English class? How are you doing as a person?
English teacher Kim Butterfield says minorities can overcome poverty and racism. Her mother came over from South Korea shortly after the Korean War and turned nothing into something.
She worked very hard, slept about 4 hours a night, and built a business. And she now employs about 300 people in her business.
But she didn't do it alone.
She also had support of my white father, who was able to co-sign loans with her.
The La-Crosse Public Education Foundation and community partners are providing $30,000 to help give all students a chance.
We're calling it the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Grants Program, but it's also just having access to be able to buy school materials, even for your home lessons.
They want to fix the education gap so college is an option for more children.
They can basically test out of a $1,000 class.
Even though La Crosse doesn't represent the diversity of the entire country, Butterfield says La Crosse can still be an example for other communities.
We are all Americans, and we definitely need to make sure that we're using our energies here in La Crosse to make this a better world overall.
Reporting in La Crosse, this is Jordan Fremstad, News 8 Now.
The Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration and Mayo Clinic Health System are joining LPEF in providing the funding.